Hello everyone, I'm Professor Sahab Patil, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, BLDCET, Jaipura. So I would like to welcome you all for this cloud computing lecture. In today's lecture, we'll be talking about the following content. So let me go through the content. So the contents are the MapReduce programming model. So we are going to see in detail how this MapReduce programming model works with a pictorial representation. Then there is a case study about the grep the web application. So the grep the web application. So we can see these two concepts in the today's class. Coming to the elasticity and load distribution in MapReduce programming model, a main advantage of cloud computing is elasticity. So elasticity, what? It is a main advantage of cloud computing. What do you mean by elasticity? So it is the ability to use as many servers as necessary to optimally respond to the cost and the timing constraint of an application. So what is this elasticity? It is an ability to use as many servers so as necessary to optimally respond to the cost and timing constraints of an application. So that is what we call it as a elasticity. So elasticity is one of the main advantage of the cloud computing. So next we have how to divide the load. So there will be distributed systems will be there. So for each distributed system, we are going to divide the load. So how we are going to do that dividing the load? So there are mainly two things. One is transaction processing system, then another one is data intensive batch applications. Okay, so we'll see with respect to the transaction processing system. So transaction processing system typically it's a front end distributes. It distributes front end the incoming transaction to a number of backend system. So what happens here in the transaction processing system? It's a front end distributes the incoming transaction to a number of backend systems. As the workload increase, new backend systems are added to the pool. So as keep on the workload increases, we are going to add the new backend system are added to the pool. So this is with respect to the transaction processing system. For data intensive batch application, so what happens here? Two types of divisible workloads are possible. So what are those? The first one is modularity divisible and second one is arbitrarily divisible. It's very simple. Modularity divisible means the workload partitioning is defined priorly. Okay, it is done priorly. So that is what we call it as a modularity divisible. So what do you mean by arbitrary divisible? Here, the workload can be partitioned into an arbitrarily large number of smaller workloads of equal or very close size. The size of that is equal and it is very close, and this is the smaller workload of what? Larger number. So this is called as a arbitrary divisible. So here, many realistic applications in physics, in biology, okay, in biology and other areas of computational science and engineering obey the arbitrary divisible load sharing model. Which one? The second one. So in most of the realistic applications in the physics, biology, even science and engineering, they use the arbitrary divisible, which comes under what? Data intensive application. Okay, so data intensive batch application. So this is a brief introduction about MapReduce programming model. So we'll see in detail how actually this MapReduce programming model works. So here the MapReduce is based on a very simple idea for parallel processing of data intensive application. So remember, the main motto for MapReduce is for the parallel processing, for parallel processing of what? Data intensive applications. So here MapReduce, it's a programming model inspired by map and reduce. Okay, it is inspired by what? Map and reduce. It is inspired by, sorry, okay, it is inspired by map and reduce. So the name itself will tell. Map means what? It will map the instances. Reduce means, okay, it will reduce into the result and store into the shared storage media. Okay, so we can see in detail. So here what happens, this map reduce the primitives of the LISP programming language. This map reduce what? It's LISP is a programming language. These all are what? Map and reduce are the primitives. So these two are primitives of LISP programming language. So here, as a result of computation, a set of input can be given in map reduce like this. So first we'll be giving as a key value, and next, that is, first is key and second is value. So this will be the input pair. It is transformed into a set of output. So this is called as a input. After computation, it is transformed into again the key value pair. Okay, so same, the key value pair. So this is how the map reduce works. Here there are 7 steps are there. So we can see each step how the map reduce works. So just look at the diagram. In the diagram we have written, first we have the application here. Okay, so here in this application we have written 1 here. So this is a first step. So what happens in the first step? So here an application start a master instance and yum worker instance for the map page. So here this application, it will start the master instance first. Okay, so for what it will start? It will start the master instance and yum worker instance. Okay, yum worker instance for the map page, and later R worker instance for the reduce page. So just look at this master instance, yum for the map and R for the reduce. So this is the first step. So hope you understood the first step. It's very simple. An application start a master instance and yum worker instance for the map page, and R worker instance, M is nothing but a master. Okay, and R worker instance for the reduce page. So how many instances are there for map reduce? For map, yeah, map instance 1, 2, 3 up to n. Okay, for reduce also we have reduce instance 1 to till reduce instance R. So this is the first step. So the same thing, okay, explained here. Okay, an application starts a master instance, that is M worker instance for the map phase and R worker instance for the reduce phase. So this is the step 1. Okay, so we'll see the second step. So just look at in the diagram. So in second step, what happens? In the second step, the master partition the input data in M segment. So what it does, master, it segments the input data. So this is the input data we have. So this input data will be segments into m number of segments. Segment 1, 2, 3, so on up to how many segment? M number of segment. So this is the second phase. Just look at here. The master instance partition the input data in M segment. This is the second step. Then we'll see the third one. So what is the third step? It says, just look at here, third step. The third step, it says each map instance. Okay, here we have the map instance. Each map instance reads its input data segment and process the data. So this map instance, it reads the input data. After reading, what it does, it will process. Okay, so after reading the map instance M, it will process. Okay, this is the third step. Just look at here. So each map instance reads input data segment and process the data. So this is the third step. Then we'll have the fourth one. So what is the fourth step? Just look at here, fourth step. Here in the fourth step, the results of the processing are stored in the local disk. So after processing, whatever the result obtained, that result will be stored where? Local disk. So here, just look at the fourth step. The results of the processing are stored on the local disk of the server where the map instances are run. Okay, next. Next, we'll have the fifth step. Okay, just look at here what we are going to do in the fifth step. So in the fifth steps, what happened when all map instances have finished processing their data? Just look at this. When all the map instances are finished processing their data, the reduced instances read the result of the first phase and merge the partial results. Okay, so in the fifth step, what happens? It will reduce into partial result. Just look at this. So in the fifth, so whatever the results which is read, the results of the first phase and merge the partial results by what? Reducer. Okay, so this is the what? Fifth step. Next we can see the sixth one. So where it is, sixth one? Okay, just look at this. What happens here? The final results are written by the reduced instances to a shared storage server. So the final results are stored into the shared storage. So this is what happened in the result, step 6. The final results. Final results are what? Are written by the reduced instances to storage server. So we'll see the last step in this, that is 7. Okay, just look at it. What it does, 7, the master instance monitors the reduced instances, and when all of them report task completion, the application is terminated. Finally, when all the applications are done with the processing, we are going to terminate the process. So here, just look at this master instance monitor. Okay, what it does, it monitors. So after monitors the reduced instances, and when all of them report task completion, the application finally what happens? It will terminate. Okay, so this is how this is what we call it as the map reduce philosophy. So this is how the map reduce work. Hope you understood this. So we'll move on to the next concept. So this is a map reduce philosophy. The next will have the another important concept, that is a case study about the grep the web application. So we'll see about grep the web application. So what is this? What is this grep the web? Grep the web, it is an application. Okay, an application called grep the web is now in production at Amazon. What is that? It is a production. It is that production at Amazon. Okay, so we use it to illustrate the power and appeal of cloud computing. So this grep the web. Okay, so we use this for the case study for just illustrating the power and appeal of the cloud computing. Grep the web is analogous to the Unix grep command used to search a file for a given regular expression. So in this particular application, will give the input as a regular expression. So regular expression will be input for this application. So this application performs a search of a very large set of records. So this is one of the important. So it performs what? A search of very large set of records. To identify records that satisfy a regular expression. So here it is analogous to the Unix grep command. The source is a collection of document URLs produced by the Alexa web search, a software system that crawls the web every night. So which uses Hadoop MapReduce. You know what do you mean by Hadoop MapReduce? grep the web uses Hadoop MapReduce. It's an open source software package. So what is this Hadoop MapReduce? It's a open source software package. Software package. So why we use this? It's that splits the large data set into chunks. So suppose we have the huge amount of data. So that data set can be a large data set can be split into number of chunks and distributes them across multiple systems. So this is the main work of Hadoop MapReduce. So after that, it launches the processing, and when the processing is complete, aggregates the output from different systems into a final result. Finally, it will reduce into a one result. Okay, so what it does, it will split the large data set into chunks, and it distributes them across multiple systems and launches the processing. And when the processing is complete, aggregates the output from different systems into a final result. So this is how the grep the web works. Hope you have understood this grep the web. So next we'll have the organization of the grep the web application. So this is the two figure which explains the organization of the grep the web. Okay, we'll see one by one. Just look at the figure A. So we'll see the figure A first. Okay, so what happens here? The application uses the Hadoop MapReduce software and 4 Amazon services. So these Amazon services already we have gone through in the previous chapter. The Amazon services are EC2. Okay, EC2 means what? Elastic Cloud Computing. Then SimpleDB. Okay, we have gone through this SimpleDB, how this services work, and we have ES3 and we have SQS. So just look at here. We have SimpleDB, EC2, S3, and SQS. So what are these? So these all are what? These all are the Amazon services. Okay. So just look at the first figure. What happens here? It is the simplified workflow showing the 2 inputs. So what are the inputs here? So 2 inputs are the first input, that is regular expression. What is the second input? Second input, that is status. The first input, that is regular expression, and the second input, that is a status. So status, we can also call it as the input records generated by the crawler. So this is what we call the input record generated by the web crawler. A third type of input is the user command. Okay, just look at here. We have the user command here. So this is the third, this is the second, and we have the input records here. Input records. This will be the command which we can give it to the this particular database. So third will have the user command. So what it does, third type of input is the user command to report the current status and terminate the processing. So finally, all these Amazon services, okay, this is used for storing the data. So this is the output. So there are 3 inputs and 1 output. Then look at the second figure. So in the second figure, we have the detailed workflow. So this explains the detailed workflow. This is a controller. Okay, we have the launch controller. We have the monitor controller. Sorry. Okay, we have the launch controller, monitor controller, shutdown controller, and billing controller. So the system is based on the message passing between the several queues. So there are 4 controller threads, periodically poll their associated input queues, retrieve messages, and carry out the required action. So each controller will be having the queue. The launch controller has the launch queue. The monitor control will be having the monitor queue, and shutdown controller has a shutdown queue, and billing controller has billing queue. So this is a billing service which is given as a connected to the billing controller as well. And this is a status DB. This is for storing the data, and this is input and output. Okay, so we have used some of the command. Okay, put and get. So this put and get, these are the commands used in the communication between the client and server. So this detailed workflow, the system is based on the message passing between several queues. So several queues we have, and we have the 4 controller threads, periodically poll their associated input queues, retrieve messages, and carry out the required action. So which carry out the required action. So this is all about the organization of the grep the web application. So thank you so much for watching this video. Please like the video, share the video, and subscribe the channel. Thank you so much.